Well, you realize that there are plenty of people who can probably sign their names but not read and write, so that won't establish anything. And that if we don't hear the sound, it could very well be him writing the word D after somebody there says the way you spell it is D-U-W-A-P.
Jeffrey never asked you to do those drive-by shootings, did he?
He ain't even know.
Jeffrey Williams ever tell anyone to murder someone?
I would told him he wasn't like that. He ain't get involved in stuff like that.
Jeffrey Williams even know about the killing of Donovan Thomas until it was broadcast afterwards.
Afterwards, obviously.
Day 137 of the Young Thug YSL RICO trial was annoying. Brian Steele cross-examines Quindary Zachary and separates Thug from a lot of the shootings. And of course the judge also yells at Miss Love a few times. I don't think there's been a day where she hasn't yelled at Miss Love recently. Hit subscribe on the channel membership. Let's go, boys. First look at Thug on day 137. He's got the green suit on. It's crazy how he's like still laughing. Think about that. You've been in jail for 2 years, fighting this case. 2.5 years, actually. Brian Steele cross on Quindary Zachary. This is huge. It's one of their big witnesses.
We're 15, Jeffrey would have been about 17, 18, fair to say?
Yes.
And was Jeffrey interested in music at that time?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Overruled.
Foundation.
Overruled.
Yes, he was. He was already rapping.
17 years of age you are, okay?
Yes.
Did Jeffrey's popularity grow?
Yes.
In music, I'm talking about music.
I think it grew fast, yeah.
Okay. And is it fair to say that the speed on which it grew came out of, it broadened it beyond the little area in Atlanta that you were living and that you knew Jeffrey?
Yes.
From your observation, how popular were those songs? How many views, and you don't have to give a number, but how did you hear on the radio? Tell the jurors.
That's all you heard?
Objection, Your Honor. That's compound and it calls for speculation, and there's not a foundation for his ability to say how popular it was. He can talk about his personal knowledge or feeling about it, but not everyone else.
That's what the question I understood to be, personally.
Tell the jurors.
That's all you heard everywhere you turn?
Everywhere you turn, that's what you heard?
Yes.
Music-wise, you're saying?
Yes.
Judge shoots down Miss Love's first objection.
Do you know a song called Lifestyle?
Yes.
Tell the jurors the popularity through your own observation of Lifestyle.
That song took over like the world. Like everybody loved the song.
And by 2013, 14, and 15, you met in approximately August 2014, you met Kenneth Copeland. Fair to say?
Yes.
He and you became close friends. True?
Not close, but yeah.
Okay. While Jeffrey is, you know, he's in the studio all the time if he's not touring. Is that true?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation, unless he has personal knowledge of Mr. Williams.
Have you seen Jeffrey in the studio?
A lot.
Okay. And while these crimes are going on that the jurors heard about, drive-by shootings, you did that,
Objection, Your Honor, as to misrepresentation about, or vagueness rather.
Vagueness sustained.
right? You did drive-by shootings that you discussed with this jury, right?
That I'm convicted of, yes.
Okay. And Jeffrey never asked you to do those drive-by shootings, did he?
He ain't even know.
Okay.
Bro, what are we doing here? He ain't even know? That puts a wrench in the state's whole theory, dude.
Jeffrey, you knew by 2013, 14, 15, he is touring outside of Atlanta all the time. Is that true?
Objection, vague.
Sustained.
Do you know if he's touring in 2013 outside Atlanta?
So I think what he's going for here is to show that Jeffrey had a career and was doing bigger things than the criminal side of all this. And that's what his focus was. It wasn't the streets no more or anything like that.
Do you know if he's touring outside Atlanta in 2014?
Yes.
How about 15?
Yes.
That by March of 2015, while Jeffrey's on the tour, Kenneth Copeland was not getting along with Shellkel, or you know who Shellkel is?
I remember the name, yeah.
Okay. They were not getting along. True?
Objection would call for speculation.
Sustained.
And it was violent. True?
Yeah.
They would shoot at each other at times, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Kenneth Copeland told you that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Kenneth Copeland stole from Donovan Thomas. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's going the route of Woody did all this. Woody killed Nut, which a lot of people truly believe that. I don't know anymore. This is all fucking stupid. I'm gonna be honest, I'm on 2 hours of sleep. So if I'm a little lower energy today, that's why. I'm sorry.
And he took his identification. Remember that?
I think it was some jewelry or something like that.
Okay. Mr. Copeland also took the peanut chain. Remember that?
Yeah. I don't know what it was. I just remember something about some jewelry.
It was jewelry. All right. Also includes Kenneth Copeland being beaten, embarrassed at Club Crucial on January 6, 2015. If you don't remember the date, just say I don't remember.
I remember that. I remember him getting fired. I don't remember the date.
Okay. And Kenneth Copeland you saw him after the fight, right?
Yeah.
He had a knot on his head, right?
Yeah.
Black eye.
Yeah. I think I was swole or something like that.
During that whole time, throughout the rodeo tour, you know, through your own observation, Jeffrey Williams was friendly with Donovan Thomas. True?
To the rodeo?
Wait, go
You know
ahead.
what?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I told, yeah.
Bro, Miss Love doesn't know how to object. Like I've seen lawyers on Twitter like Miss Love's objections are terrible.
That's true, right? Tell the jurors.
Yeah, I've been told him that.
Jeffrey is doing his career, right?
Yes.
Kenneth Copeland doesn't ask, to your knowledge, Jeffrey for permission to get into an argument or fight or shoot at anyone, does he?
Wait, yeah, grown man, he ain't gonna ask him, man. I mean,
You gotta speak slower to the jurors.
My bad. He grown. I mean, you know, he grown. He got it. Like, he don't control nobody.
Okay. And you also told that to the police, right?
Yes.
You were asked, I started about Rich Homie Quan. You know who that is, right? The performer?
Yeah.
His name is Mr. Lamar. Do you know his real name by any chance?
No, no, real name.
Okay. If Jeffrey working with Rich Homie Quan, okay? In the music field. I want to focus on that, okay? Did you know Jeffrey's contractual obligations at that time? And if you don't, just say, I don't know.
Man, you gotta explain what you just said.
Okay. Know whether Jeffrey was signed to an agreement with a record label that he had to do certain performances with certain people by March of 2015. Were you aware of that?
I think he had a contract, yeah.
Okay. And were you ever in any negotiations or meetings or review any contracts?
No.
All right. And did Jeffrey ever go to you and ask, is this a good opinion?
No.
You follow Jeffrey's career to this day, right? Were you aware that Jeffrey was contracted with, if you don't know, just say it, Calvin Klein?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
You were aware Jeffrey was contracted with Puma?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
2015.
I think he's just trying to show that Thug had other big obligations in life besides street shit and all these shootings around him. Like, he didn't tell anyone to do these shootings.
Were you aware that Jeffrey was written up in Vogue magazine?
Your Honor,
So that whole line of questioning, I think we're going to get the same objection, and it's going to be the same ruling.
By the time that you are, as you said, locked up, that means in jail, right?
Yes.
By that time in 2015, tell the jurors since that time your interactions with Jeffrey Williams.
Since I've been in prison,
Since 2015, you made bond one time, right? You got out and you were rearrested, right?
I ain't saw him again.
I can't hear you.
I haven't seen him since.
2015, approximately. We're talking about April. Is that true? The first time you got locked up, then you made bond?
May.
Sorry. You had zero means no, communication with Jeffrey Williams. Is that true?
I mean, I've been locked up the whole. I just got out with last year before last.
Okay, so the year before last to now, do you ever have communication with Jeffrey?
No.
Your relationship with Jeffrey wasn't this, he's the gang leader, right?
No, it was never that.
And you told that to the authorities, right?
Yes.
When Kenneth Copeland is telling you about, and you know about, crimes he's doing, that's not to your knowledge because Jeffrey Williams asked him to, right?
objection, that's speculation, and that would be just speculation.
Sustained.
To your knowledge, has Jeffrey Williams ever asked anyone to shoot up a home?
No.
To your knowledge and information, tell the jurors if you have any information, did Jeffrey Williams ever tell anyone to murder someone?
I already told him he wasn't like that. He ain't get involved in stuff like that.
To your knowledge, did Jeffrey Williams even know about the killing of Donovan Thomas until it was broadcast afterwards?
Afterwards, well, obviously.
This is all very good to get in front of the jury that Thug was, whether it's true or not, who knows, but Thug was the guy that just focused on music, didn't ask anyone to commit crimes.
You knew that Jeffrey Williams was performing in the state of Florida.
That's the only reason I ended up there, because everybody was getting ready to go.
And the position is people who wanted to go to watch him perform met at his house and they go in vans to the state of Florida. Isn't that true?
Yes.
That was all prearranged, right?
Yes.
There's none of this. Let's get Sprinter vans immediately to get out of town, right?
No, I don't think you get a sprint fan that late at night. You probably had already booked it or something.
Jeffrey had already gone and people remained in his Sky House condominium to go to Florida, right?
Yes.
That Jeffrey was concerned and questioned, why would someone kill Nut? Do you remember that?
I told him that.
I can't hear you.
Yes.
That's true, right?
Yes.
Because Jeffrey was friends with Donovan Thomas, right?
For my knowledge, yeah.
No matter what you were doing, no matter what D'Amico and Garlington was doing, no matter what Kenneth Copeland was doing, Jeffrey still performed with Rich Homie Quan going into January 2015. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Has this witness gone well for the state? He's admitted he's a liar. If that's true or not, we don't know. But all this stuff about Thug out in front of the jury now too, it's just like...
Do you have any information that Jeffrey Williams knew that tour bus would be shot before it was shot?
No.
Do you have any information that Jeffrey asked for the shooting of that bus?
No.
Okay. Do you have any
Very good for the jury to hear this for the defense.
that Jeffrey was fond of, was happy that bus got shot?
No.
Yeah, I remember he was like pissed, apparently. Said that in testimony, but I don't remember who it was. I think it was Woody.
In fact, Jeffrey was the opposite, right?
Speculation.
Sustained.
Do you know if Jeffrey was upset that happened?
Objection, Your Honor. It would still be speculation.
Sustained.
Do you remember speaking with law enforcement, specifically Detective Dennis, Detective Gaither, about the Lil Wayne tour bus shooting on August 5, 2015?
Yeah, I remember.
Is it true that you told them that you didn't think that ROSCOE did the shooting?
Yes.
And is it true that Detective Dennis immediately told you that he agrees?
Yes.
And that's on the recording.
What? Bro, Dennis and Gaither said some dumb shit in some of these interviews that came to bite him in the ass.
When you were asked by Lawyer Love after the killing of Donovan Thomas was known that Jeffrey acted normal. Remember I asked you about that a little bit ago?
Yeah.
Did you ever see a social media post by Jeffrey about Donovan Thomas that morning?
Yes.
Okay. And did it give Jeffrey's heartfelt condolences?
And, Your Honor,
Sustained.
cropping out the comments. I mean, redacting every word, just leaving the picture.
We're going to leave the date, Your Honor.
He didn't say that he saw.
So foundational objection.
Foundational objection. Thank you.
I want to talk to you about the rental car. It's an Infiniti G35, okay?
Yes.
You know cars? Are you familiar with cars?
Yes.
You like cars?
Yes.
All right. And you were physically inside that rental car, right?
Yes.
And the only information you know about that rental car comes from Kenneth Copeland, true?
Yes, I told him I never saw nobody else in the car but him.
And Kenneth Copeland driving the car, right?
Yes.
Did you ever drive that rental car?
No.
And who's the last person that you ever saw with that rental car?
But I went to the studio that night and Copeland still had the car.
Okay.
Putting Woody in the car. I wonder what the jury thinks. They're probably just like, dude, what's the truth and what isn't?
He just told me that he had got the car and it was running.
Did he tell you who he got the car from?
Yeah, he said Jeffrey.
At that time in 2015, did you know anybody else in your group besides Jeffrey who could rent a car?
No.
By police about Jeffrey breaking ties. I mean, that's a wrong word. That's bad. Jeffrey not speaking anymore with Kenneth Copeland after a couple months into 2015. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
All right. And by June of 2015, you're aware that, if you are, that Jeffrey doesn't speak with Kenneth Copeland. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
60% of you aren't subscribed. Come on, hit the subscribe bell.
And that's because Kenneth Copeland went to the police on January 11th, 2015, shortly after Donovan Thomas's killing. Do you remember that?
You said that was
Objection, Your Honor. That would call for speculation.
Sustained.
Don't speculate. The police discussed that with you. That was what they told you, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember telling the police that Jeffrey separated because all of the things that Kenneth Copeland just brings with himself?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any information to share with this jury that Jeffrey was in favor of Kenneth Copeland shooting at people? Do you have any information?
That would call for speculation.
No.
Do you have any information that Jeffrey was in favor of you shooting at any houses or people?
He never knew what nobody did. I told him.
Until it was over, you said?
Not even like the shootings. Like he probably didn't even know about them.
Okay. You told the jury that you would go over to Jeffrey's condominium about 10 times a week. You realize you said that?
As I was saying, like, we might leave and go to the store.
I can't hear you.
Once you get there, you probably leave and go to the store, go get something to eat, something like that. So that's why I said in and out 10 times.
From Jeffrey's schedule, do you even know? Do you know that you were at his house? How many times you were at his house in 2015 until you were arrested? Do you really know?
In 2015, not that much.
When were you talking when you said 10 times?
I was saying like when he's there, like as in leaving to go and get something to eat and coming back, help that stuff like that. That's what I would count.
When Jeffrey's around?
Yeah.
Were you aware that he traveled a lot?
Yes.
2013, 14, and 15?
Yes.
So Steele's trying to really hammer it home that he was out traveling, barely in Atlanta type shit. Like, don't even know what's happening with all the boys back home.
You came from Augusta, Georgia area. Is that true?
Carolina.
Sustained.
Do you remember Lawyer Love?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance to this entire line of conversation about previous appearances by this witness.
Goes to bias.
I don't know what it's going to be.
I can tell you.
Your Honor, could we approach him?
Yes.
Miss Love didn't like Steele bringing up something Miss Love did, so the jury left.
Line of questioning that Mr. Steele is going to get into is one that he has attempted to raise previously, Mr. Zachary's lawyer, to prove that I had committed prosecutorial misconduct. Mr. Steele represented that that witness would tell the court that I told Mr. Zachary he was going to get arrested if he did not come on that particular day. I'm aware of, I know for a fact when there's the questioning about that appearance that Mr. Zachary made earlier in this trial, I know who it was that said what. In other words, Mr. Steele represented a falsehood to the court. I had not told him he was going to get arrested. I didn't say anything of the sort. As a matter of fact, only his attorney spoke to him while I was on the phone. And so when Mr. Steele says to the court that it goes to bias, I would ask for a proffer from Mr. Steele about what he intends to ask this witness and the relevance of it.
Your Honor, it was January 10th, going into the 11th, 2023, and Ricky Richardson represented Mr. Zachary. Ricky Richardson called me and told me that the state had subpoenaed Mr. Zachary. He was in Augusta, and he was sick, and that Lawyer Love, Miss Love, told him have to come and meet with Miss Love at her office, otherwise the predecessor judge will lock him up. He was asking me, are there any witnesses coming to court that day? I said, no, we were barely in jury selection, which started on January 4th, 2023. When Mr. Zachary was testifying, he stated that you don't want my father to come to Miss Love. He stated he to me shut down on questions to Miss Love. So it looks like he somehow now he's answering questions on cross-examination. And I want to bring out the fact that he does not trust the state. He said he wouldn't take medicine from them. He didn't trust them. Miss Love asked him a question. He said, you don't want me to tell you, let the truth come out. And I believe that's what he's getting to. So he did come from Augusta. He missed his job. He missed his medical appointment, drove all the way here. And I was told that by Ricky Richardson that the father met him here and that the father through an anger was angry, and then the DA's office let him go. That's what I was told. I'm going to ask him his opinion. It goes to his bias. Why was he acting that way on direct examination? That's what I'm going to ask him.
This is crazy, but the judge ain't gonna let this in.
I don't see that's. You can ask him if he, likes the state or something, but we don't need to get into all of the back and forth behind it.
I was going to ask him then why. When he answers yes or no, I was ask him why. Why do you have that feeling?
Well, you can ask him that.
Okay, then that suits me.
Oh boy.
I would ask that he not be allowed to backdoor that. If he wants to call Mr. Richardson as a witness, that's fine. But to get into Mr. Zachary's feelings about something Mr. Richardson said to him about something that I said or someone from the state said, I said, what's your address? Mr. Zachary said, I don't want to give it to you. Mr. Richardson said, you're going to either have to give them your address or you're going to have to answer the subpoena. That was the extent of the conversation that we had with Mr. Zachary, with Mr. Richardson at that time.
Okay, let's take a bathroom break.
Judge still doesn't care, same as yesterday. She just won't be able to take a piss.
I apologize. I said I would like to hear the recording so we don't waste time because we're going to hear it later. And I'd like to hear the recording, and if everyone wants to hear it, if it's having a hard time getting through the filters, we can just play it right now if it's a 3-minute recording.
Go ahead.
Who is this? You don't have a warrant out. The subpoena expired, so you got a warrant or something you're looking for? Who is this? You know what you're doing is illegal, right? Who is this? It's Mr. Zachary. I got Quindarius right here on the phone. Okay. I want to know what's your problem, sir.
Listen to me, Mr. Zachary.
Wait, Quindary Zachary calling, I think, an investigator pissed off about testifying or something?
Listen to me, Mr. Zachary.
Now, listen,
Your son asked a question.
I'm
He had
calling Brian Steele.
Call whoever you like, sir.
I'm calling Sharp.
Call whoever you like.
He said, I'm calling Brian Steele, I'm calling Shard.
Call whoever you like. Call whoever you like, sir.
We'll turn out where you want us to come to.
I asked your son where would he like to meet. He asked me if I was in Augusta. I told him he knew I was in Augusta. So
Okay, so what we meeting up for?
you tell me where you like to meet at, sir.
Where do we meeting up for?
Sir, I'm not going to talk to you. I'll talk to your son.
Can I see who's your supervisor?
I am the supervisor.
Who your supervisor?
No, we going to the Fulton County Jail. Or we coming to
Do
court?
you want to go to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office?
No, we going.
You unwilling to do that? Okay, real good.
Hey, listen.
Real good. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're going to get
Thank you.
what you doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Judge said, all right, I think we have the jury waiting. Brian Steele's laughing. This is pointless.
I'll object to playing that.
That puts absolutely no one in a good light. Don't know why anybody would want to play that, but can we get the witness back in now?
Is this trial a social experiment? Remember that jury show that came out where that one guy was on the jury and everyone around him was actors and he didn't know it for like 3 weeks? What if they're doing this to all of us and it's all simulation? It's not real.
And you said you refused that. You wouldn't take anything from the state. I think you said something like that. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Why would you say that?
How I felt at the moment, somebody they were gonna kill me.
I want to go into a couple of areas. Do you remember you personally seeing, or even doing that when people were around Jeffrey or in his home, they would steal from him? Is that true?
Objection, relevance, and speculation.
Sustained.
How about this? You would steal from him at times.
No,
Kenneth Copeland would steal from him at times.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know whether Mr. Garlington would steal from him?
Your Honor, objection again for the same reason, relevance.
Do you remember?
Speculation.
Sustained.
Do you remember telling the police that many people, including people I just named, would steal from Jeffrey Williams?
I ain't never stolen from nobody. So.
Let's leave you out. Do you remember telling the police that other people would steal from him?
I don't remember, but I probably did say it.
30 deep _D. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. And you told the jury that this was part of a song. Is that true?
Lil Wayne.
Say it again.
Lil Wayne song.
And do you remember the song Mob by Lil Wayne?
So I think what happened here is the state showed this caption of this Instagram post like it was YSL gang related, but it was really just a Lil Wayne lyric. They've done shit like this before. They're about to play the Lil Wayne song. So something about bringing homicide or some shit. Can't believe this is real.
And Black. I think they asked you about Black. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I remember asking me about it.
Are those terms in songs?
A lot of songs.
Okay. Including Jeffrey songs? And is it on social media as well? If you know, you personally observe.
I heard people saying it on social media.
Okay. And you've heard people say it in the streets as you walk by?
Oh, I don't heard everybody. A lot of people say it.
In your own observation of life, of the word slat, or blad, or slime, that means that someone's going to commit a violent crime.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection, unless it relates to this witness. It would be speculation.
And then do you remember Detective Dennis saying to you, but even if Jeffrey's not involved directly, it's guilt by association. Do you remember that?
I don't exactly remember that, but
Okay.
it sounded like something Dennis to say.
All right. From your personal life, from your knowledge, did Jeffrey Williams ever ask for any violence to occur as described in this entire questioning by the police, by the prosecutors and police here at trial?
No.
Vague, Your Honor. Objection, vagueness.
Couldn't be more specific, I thought.
Overruled.
No, I think I told him that.
How was that vague, Miss Love? Someone tell me. Brian Steele's done with Cross? Miss Love on redirect. Bro, she takes an hour on redirect. I'm gonna blow my head off.
And you said you couldn't see anyone in the courtroom, essentially, right?
If y'all would have did y'all research with my health issues, it come with vision problems.
What was it about what Garlington said about Moontoon that caused you to say something about other people?
Just off him putting him on the scene.
Okay. That on April 28, 2015, you unlawfully, while associated with a criminal street gang, participated in criminal gang activity through the commission of one of the following offenses: aggravated battery, aggravated assault, criminal damage to property in the first degree, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. I need to read it to you?
You might make fun of me.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You trying to, bro, he can read. He's capping.
And you said on cross-examination with Mr. Shart that you refused to accept a plea with the state. Is that right, or did I hear that wrong?
No, you're that right.
Okay. Now, did that mean that you entered into what is called a non-negotiated plea? Like you didn't have any agreement when you went up and made this admission?
What I meant by that was that when they was trying to get me to testify on Mr. Sledge, because he was still on the street, I ain't accept that. That's what I meant.
Admission that you made wasn't in exchange for anything that the state gave you. You just went and put yourself at the mercy of the judge.
Yes.
All right. At the mercy of the judge, you admitted that the gang you were committing these acts for was YSL, didn't you?
Yes.
All right.
So I guess Miss Love's just reverting back to his guilty plea. Low effort redirect here.
But you didn't say that Thug knew anything about Donovan Thomas's murder, did you?
No, I didn't.
So you didn't want to get out of jail bad enough to lie and say Thug shot Donovan Thomas, right?
Yes.
Yes, what?
I don't understand that. Can you say it again?
You never told the police that Thug shot Donovan Thomas, right?
Yes, I never told them that.
Right. But you believed that they wanted to know something bad about Thug, right?
Yes.
Right. Knowing that they wanted to know something bad about Thug, you still didn't say, hey, you didn't lie on Thug and say Thug shot Donovan Thomas, correct?
Yeah.
All right. In fact, the state offered you much less than 189 years, right?
Yes.
But you turned that down, didn't you?
Yes.
And you turned that down because you weren't going to testify against Montun, right?
Yes.
All right. You'd rather spend 189 years in prison than to testify against any one of your friends.
As I had got older, yes.
Why you told Gaither and Dennis that Woody and Montun shooting at Kale is what started the gang war?
Why did I tell them that?
Yes, sir.
Because I felt like it.
Okay. Why did you tell the police that Montun was always on go?
Because I felt like it.
Reverting to the "cause I felt like it" response.
Perform on stage
I
together.
can't say. I just know that when they went on stage, whatever they did, I was backstage. They went on there together.
She's trying to catch him in lies.
Thug called Rich Homie Quan on stage a derogatory name that rhymed with Rich Homie Quan.
I wasn't even, like, in March, I think that was that the tour, so I ain't even stayed that many days, and I think I had saw that on Instagram. That was a lie.
Why did you tell the police that you were there? Because the police asked you how you know, and I'm going to use this horrible name and word because that's what you said. Didn't you tell the police that in March 2015, Thug called this gentleman Rich Homie Quan, he used the name Bitch Homie Quan, on stage in public to talk about Rich Homie Quan?
I never heard him say that. That's something I just heard. I never heard him say it. Why did I tell him that? I don't know.
I'm just asking you, did I get it right? You did say that, right, to police?
Yes.
Would you tell the jury how telling the police there were two cars benefited you?
I thought it would have benefited me. I was just telling lies.
How would it have benefited you? That's all I'm asking.
Shit. I was making up stuff, putting people there, so they can take some of the blame off me.
Okay.
She thinks he was telling the truth and he wasn't making up shit.
Documents already been shown. So if that's the same issue we're dealing with, if that's really the import, then I don't understand why we're doing this again.
So again, what is it that you're trying to show through this? What's the purpose?
I'm showing that he knows how to, not only that he can read and write, but that he identified certain people by writing their names. He's spelling out their names.
Okay, well, you won't be able to hear him spelling out their names with the sound off.
I will be asking him about that. I mean, and I understand with the sound off. I don't understand. My concern is that I'm tendering a piece of evidence that is relevant to what was dealt with on cross-examination. On cross-examination, the witness was repeatedly asked about lying. I don't think there's an objection. I don't know that I heard an objection from Mr. Steele. I don't know what I'm responding to. So if the court could please clarify what I'm responding to so that I can.
I'm not grasping the import of what we're doing. That's my concern. I'm saying
It's not important. If he can read or write, who cares, bro? Majority of the jury knows he's lying about that already.
part of it's cumulative because he was shown that same exact picture from the same date of Mr. McMullen or Nard. The other part, I just don't know why it's important to this trial at this time. I'm just trying to ask what the relevance is of this.
I'm not listening to it in real time, but I'm going off of my notes in the transcript. Like, if we're showing a silent aspect of a video to show that Mr. Zachary knows how to, I guess, read and write, he's also asking how to spell doo-wop in the transcript, at least. So, and I believe that he's also asked for help in spelling the other things. So I don't know if that's going to give the jury an accurate portrayal of his mastery of, reading and writing.
I don't even know if that's what it's being offered for. I haven't gotten a clear answer on that.
I mean, I didn't know. I was trying to understand what objection I was responding
Relevance and cumulative.
Okay, so I haven't shown any pictures, any of this, specific pictures, and what are you doing as you look at the pictures? And
What is he doing?
signing them
He's signing his name.
and writing their names.
And are we going to be able to see from the video that he is writing their names? Because
Yes.
he may or may not answer what he's actually doing.
Yes, and Your Honor, I do have to, of course, the court knows I went through a very long process because I'm going to have to now.
All right. Well, you realize that there are plenty of people who can probably sign their names but not read and write, so that won't establish anything. And that if we don't hear the sound, it could very well be him writing the word D after somebody there says the way you spell it is D-U-W-A-P. So
That actually does happen.
I mean,
but
it's up to you, I guess,
And
if
then-
you think that establishes anything. But so the purpose of it then would be to show that he can read and write.
that was one of them, Judge.
Okay. What other purpose?
To ask him the question of whether or not the if gang rivalry with YSL began because of Woody.
I don't remember. I told you my head hurt so bad.
Okay.
All right. So you have the ability and had the ability over lunch to have your pain medication
I'm
with you
allergic
and
to
to take
Tylenol. Allergic to a lot of medicine. If y'all would have got all these records like I
And
should
we
have
talked about you being able to get your prescription medication.
I ain't complaining. I'm still up here.
So the judge is getting annoyed with the witness now over medication for his headache.
That the rivalry between If Gang and YSL began roughly a month before Nutt's death.
I don't remember.
Do you remember when Thug's lawyer asked you about the post? They shoot at us, we don't tell. You shoot at them, they call the police?
I remember he told me about that.
Okay. We're beefing about trivia. Was that from your prelim or from Copeland?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to these subject matters. All this is beyond the scope of cross-examination.
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
She does this every time on redirect. She goes way past the scope.
It's to confront him with things and to get clarification based on what he said in cross as to where this information came from.
Literally no one has argued that he lied about everything. And he has not testified that he lied about everything. I specifically brought his attention to certain things that he acknowledged he lied about. And now we are talking about things way outside the scope of that, and we're just redoing this whole thing again, and it's 403 and it's outside the scope of
Let's
cross.
narrow your questions to things that were asked about on cross, please.
All right, Doug Weinstein up for recross.
On redirect, Ms. Love asked you a lot of questions about the sources of your lies, okay? The lies you told back in 2015 and 2017. So let's get into that a little bit, okay? That play you testified to that you got from Garlington, that was about the murder of Peanut, Donovan Thomas, right?
That's what, yeah.
Okay. That play was something cooked up between Garlington and Woody, correct?
Objection, Your Honor, as to vagueness.
Sorry, I didn't hear your answer.
Yes.
Yes, the play was cooked up between Garlington and Woody?
Woody put Garlington in it. It was something Woody had.
Something Woody had. Woody came up with that play in order to take attention away from him.
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
Sustained.
You don't have to answer that question. But that was a scheme between them to come up with a story that you would use, correct? They planted that story with
Objection,
you.
Your Honor, asked and answered.
Sustained.
The story that they came up with, that they told you, that Garlington relayed to you, was about Shannon and Yak and Duop and Nard being involved in Nutt's murder. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
I
that.
don't remember all the detail, but it had something to do with it.
Had something to do with that, with the murder of Peanut, with the murder of Donovan Thomas. And that story was intended to cover up Woody's involvement in that murder.
Objection, calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Ms. Love objecting to everything here.
So the story you got from Garlington, that's the story that you ended up relaying to law enforcement, to Gaither and Dennis in
Objection,
2015.
asked and answered.
Sustained.
You've been asked repeatedly by the attorney for the state, by Ms. Love, how various lies that you told benefited you. You remember her asking you that just now?
Yes.
You're sitting over here right now instead of over there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you think that that's a benefit to
Your
you?
Honor, objection.
Do you view that as a
Hang
benefit?
on, hang on.
Okay,
hang
I'm
on.
asking him if he
I
views
know,
that as
and
a
there's an
benefit.
objection on the floor, which I haven't been able to hear yet, so wait and let me hear
My
it. and
apologies,
then
Your
we'll-
Honor.
So objection as to misrepresentation, vagueness, when the question is, do you think it's a benefit to you that you're over there and not here? As it relates to the interview in 2015 and 2017, I would ask for clarification about what it is that he was getting a benefit from.
Overruled.
Do you view it as a benefit to you that those lies that you told in 2015 and 2017 put you in that witness stand instead of over there as a defendant?
Objection, relevance.
Overruled.
I ain't benefit off none of it.
You didn't benefit off any of it? You'd rather be over there?
Objection,
no
Your Honor,
difference.
improper.
Sustained.
Are you a defendant in this case?
Objection, relevance.
It's directly relevant to his motivation. Are you a defendant in this case?
No.
It's directly relevant. Weinstein shitting on her, bro.
From your vantage point, did Mr. Copeland or Woody, did Jeffrey go to him in any way, or was Mr. Copeland trying to hang out with Jeffrey?
Objection, relevance beyond the scope of redirect.
It was on redirect.
Overruled.
Yeah, Copeland used to come around now.
That's it for Quindary Zachary. All right, this guy's up talking about phone records. I don't think he gets into specifics, though. It's like about how they work. This is Woody's phone records from 2014.
That's kind of how that works. There's switches all throughout the United States, and then for every switch, there's several, could be 100 or more towers that are associated, probably more than 100 with each specific.
And was this a prepaid or postpaid account?
It was postpaid.
So they're just getting these phone records into evidence with this witness. Pretty tedious. That's it for day 137. No court tomorrow because of the hurricane, and apparently Friday is questionable. Hit subscribe, join channel membership. Love you guys. Peace out.